This is our town.
Welcome.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 195 of Value Town. I'm ChanmanV. That's Sottle. That's Ike. Ike's back, ready to show us his amazing decks that he's come up with. All like 25,
not
30
sure
of them.
like sarcasm.
That's not sarcasm. I mean, not at all. Not at all. No, but Sottle's back. It's been a while, buddy. It's been like, I don't know, maybe 20 episodes or something.
Something like that. Yeah. I kept flaking out on you. Like you kept like I kept saying it, and then something would come out. Like
just bad time. I mean, you're super busy, obviously, but not too busy to be Pokemoning all day. Because I'm telling you, man, I vicariously played. Like you're one of the guys I vicariously play Pokemon through.
Yeah.
So
I got like 9 shinies now or something.
Yeah. Oh man, nice.
Killing it.
I don't even know what that means.
I haven't seen any of those videos where you like. You're like so excited to see the shiny, and then you actually get it. There are like so many of these Twitter accounts.
Yeah, I can't fake reactions like that. That's why I'm not a 10K streamer. I'm too much of a genuine person.
I showed my wife one of them. I can't remember who it was, but it's one of those where they miss it, right? They obviously fail.
Oh yeah, I think I know.
You know who I'm talking about? She's like literally screams at the top of her lungs, and my wife's like, she knows nothing about this stuff, and she's like. She's so fake. I'm like, oh wow, really? It's like I actually thought she might be like for real, but yeah, even my wife can detect those. But anyways, guys, big day. Obviously, it's been just a little over 24 hours since the Rastakhan Rumbles expansion officially released. So this is like the most exciting time. This is the most fun where we get a chance to discover decks, and then a week later we won't get hopefully longer than a week later we'll still be trying to figure out decks. But right now everything's brand new. So what'd you guys think? Like you guys been having a great time last day? I mean, did you guys play before day one? I'm Ike. I know you didn't, but Sottle, did you get a chance to do the whole fireside gathering stuff?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Like I opened Twitter one day and saw people talking about like, wow, people are playing it early. I was like, wait, has it like leaked somehow? Like what's going on? But no, I didn't play it.
Yeah, I was like watching Toast and like early on, I was like, dude, is he seriously spoofing like in like streaming this seriously? Yeah. But apparently it was. They were allowing everybody to do it, so I didn't know that. so I didn't get a chance to play until yesterday for the first time. And it sounds like everybody else here as well.
Yep.
Yeah. First thoughts, Ike? Living up to expectations?
Yeah. I've been having a tough time building, man. All my decks kept losing. It's kind of demoralizing.
Yeah.
I was playing such good cards too. Like spider tanks that gave my opponents cards. 1 mana, 1/1.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's been a lot of fun. Like some people at like rank 5 ladder had some good decks and like good ideas.
Really?
I was kind of surprised. I was like, all right, let me face some terrible decks. Let me just climb up and then tweet about this terrible deck that's great. But no, I've had a lot of fun. This expansion's been pretty cool so far.
Yeah, I feel like there's something in everything. I haven't really had that much desire to play Rogue at all with the pirate stuff, but I feel like every other class, there's some element that I want to try out, and I've only probably gotten to 2 or 3 of the classes. I haven't gotten a chance to play like Mage and Druid and all that stuff. So really excited to see what kind of decks you guys have in store. But what was the free legend that you guys got? I got the Mage one.
I got the Druid choose 1 of 5 thing.
The Lodi, Lodi. Cool. That's not.
I got Sharkman, I think. Rogue Shark.
Okay.
guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so that's cool. Really nice that everybody got a chance to get one, and hopefully you got a good one. There's a lot of good legendaries this time, so it'd be pretty hard to miss. I think this time around.
I think Frodan tweeted that he thinks all but one of the legendaries in the set will be played competitively. I'm like,
that seems like
that's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like 23 cards or something like that.
Yeah.
And just to even say 23 cards from an expansion will be played
Right.
is a bold statement. Right?
It'll beat Boomstay if it did. Like,
Yeah. So favorite classes so far. We're gonna dive into the decks in a second, but I just kind of want to generally talk about it. Any favorite classes so far for you guys?
Shaman for me.
Really,
was the most
Shaman's your
fun.
favorite? Wow.
Well, you
Okay.
took my answer, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah, it's good. I actually.
It hasn't been like my highest win rate deck or anything, but
Yeah.
like I've just really loved Doomhammer Rockbiteing people again, because like aggro shaman, like the deck that got Rockbiter nerfed, that deck,
Yeah.
that's like one of my favorite decks of all time. So just like kind of being able to do that, and it kind of works again. Like, I've just been having a blast, like just killing people from 25. It's been great.
Yeah, that's awesome. How about you, Ike? What type of shaman?
As a
you've been playing?
shaman master, I'm kind of offended that you like the Rockbiter Doomhammer version all over the cool decks. But no, I think my favorite class has been Druids so far. Like, not playing super busted stuff, previous super busted stuff, and trying out some of the new cards.
Beast Druid, basically.
Yeah,
Okay, so Beast Druid is a thing.
that's
then,
been
you
my
think?
that's been my deck that I've had the most fun with.
Yeah. I haven't tried out Druid at all, but Shaman was definitely the first class that I wanted to. Well, after I did Zul'jin a couple times, then I decided to like venture into Shaman, and man, I have to say it's been pretty tough. Like I tried to make Malaga Shaman, which we'll talk about in a second. Work. I lost like 15 straight games or something stupid like that. But
Eureka.
Yeah, Eureka. I mean, there's a lot of little nuances to all the cards that you kind of learn as you're like screwing up, which is always part of the discovery phase. But yeah, I think so far Warlock's my favorite. Just the Disco Warlock thing it's just insanely fun. I mean, forget even if it's good or bad. Yeah, invincible, exactly. But it's actually good too. So it's a combination of those two things. It's gonna be if you combine those two, oh man, you're gonna have a blast playing. So
I'm very opposed to that deck. If that becomes real, that's going to be the thing that people are going to get sick of me complaining about on like.
What don't you like about it? Like,
it's just such a clowny deck to watch happen, right? Like you're on the other side of the board.
All right, we're gonna let's just bring it up right now, like just to start talking about it.
Like,
yeah,
you're on the other side of the board watching this happen, right? And it's as if your opponent's just windmilling their arms at their hand.
That's basically what I do.
that's
hilarious.
Playing the deck gives.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
it just triggers me.
The Invincible one is Ike's. The Disco Quest is mine. But yeah, there's so many crazy combo-y plays that. I mean, it's not one player so much, like those type of decks. But sometimes it feels like it is one player. I'm just trying to buff up my Clutch Mother or my Jeklik, and that's all I'm doing. Yeah.
So. I think I toy with my food with this deck more than anything else. Like, they're dead for a while, but I just keep. Let me just Hellfire this board of these 3/2s. Like, I'll get more, whatever.
Yeah.
So, what turn on average do you guys think you finished the quest?
Oh my
6,
god.
7?
Yeah. Nah, it depends. If I you don't run Halfine, but if I run Halfine, dude, like 6. Like seriously.
Okay.
I mean, if you draw a Cataclysm,
have you discarded the reward with Halfiend yet?
I've done it one time, yeah.
Okay.
I hate to
You're a big man for
admitting that, but yeah.
Well, you can get the quest back with the Soul Warden.
You know what? I've never gotten a chance to play Soul Warden. Like, so I don't even know. Yeah, like I just win. I just win other ways. Like I never even draw back the cards I discarded. So
that's cool. You give a full hand of Clutch Mothers, and then you Cataclysm. Toyed with that guy. He was dead for a while.
Full hand of Clutch Mothers. Okay, I've never done that.
Because you keep discarding it, so the Soul Warden gives you more.
Yeah.
Right, it makes sense.
That's true. Because even though it comes back to your hand, it's counted as being discarded, right? Like, yeah. So there's the weird things like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's never happened before in Hearthstone where we have these kind of like regenerating cards, right? And essentially your deck's getting larger, because of all the these kind of regen or resummon or whatever the kind of things. So Yeah, for those of you wondering what kind of deck we're talking about, Warlock obviously. It's got the Lakari sacrifice quest in it, so you discard 6, you get the portal that summons 2/3/2s like every single turn, which is in itself pretty powerful. But then you have things like High Priestess Jeklik and Clutch Mother Zavis, which when you discard them, they give you large value back. So the Clutch Mother gets +2/+2 and comes back to your hand, and Jeklik spawns 2 copies of the current version that you discard. So you can buff it up with Soul Infusion, get like 5/6s and 7/8s and things like that, and then they come back as 2 5/6s 7/8s. So yeah, you get a lot of wackiness. I think the only main difference I think between mine and yours is I run some of the demon stuff, and you don't run any of it. So well,
mine is just, it's like I feel like the
you
higher
run Doom
curve
Guard.
cards are
Yeah.
well, Doom Guard discards. I
Yeah,
had
yeah,
to.
but it's at least a demon, right? That's
The
why you
higher
run cooldown.
curve stuff, I feel like I just don't get off. I don't know, like Skull and Voidlord and Nether. Even
Yeah.
like I have Godfrey in there because I couldn't really think of anything better, but he kind of sucks.
I kind of
Really,
feel
it's been okay for me.
like Fellhound is just a better taunt for this deck than Voidlord. Like, I don't know. I don't think
so?
like nine mana is like a relevant turn that you need to defend. I think like the
game's
won or
decided.
lost before then. Yeah.
Think so?
Maybe 1 out
Okay.
of 25 games you Uber Nut with Skull, and that's cool.
Yeah.
No,
But
it happens a lot for
also-
me. Like, believe it or not.
Don't-
Yeah.
I just jam my Cataclysms on 4, even if I have the board generally.
Really?
like,
Okay. Okay. I usually save it for a little bit, but yeah, that's interesting. To just finish the quest ASAP.
I don't value my resources like at all. Like you get so many.
Okay.
There's
I guess
nothing
that makes sense why you have like Librarian in it and just ways to draw. Even like Solarium too. Like I don't have that in there.
It's like so. This is what bothers me about the deck, right? Because it really does like the not valuing your resources thing. It feels like
It's
you've invited a
anti-
friend round to
Right.
play a game of Hearthstone with you, and they don't understand the game. They're just doing it to humor you. And then you give them a bunch of cards, and they just like pull out a leaf blower and just like spray them around. And some of them fly away, some of them land on the board. It just doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
When we're talking about playing Hearthstone and leaf blowing,
Yeah.
there seems to be something that's a little amok there, right? So I agree with you. It seems like it's against just the fundamentals of playing, the Hearthstone or card game. So it is a little strange. So I hope it's not as strong as I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
But
Like Jeklik's the card, right? That's made
Yeah.
this possible because like I've been playing a lot of aggro, as we'll see when we get to my decks eventually. But like if they don't draw Jeklik, they just die. Like
We're
every
dead.
time. Every
Yeah.
time.
That's why I tried to add the spell stones
yeah, that makes
or
sense.
something.
I feel like if Jeklik wasn't lifesteal, it would be a lot more fair. Than it could be taunt, but the fact that it's lifesteal, it's like you get it. And they can't win, unless it's some crazy burst.
Yep.
So yeah, it's incredibly
I
strong.
mean, the deck has a natural weakness against anything that could combo you, though.
Yeah,
So, like,
Right.
it can't be an uber insane deck because it just has a hard counter in front of it.
so I need the
Shutterwalk, Mally,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
anything that was good before, basically.
You don't think we can get enough pressure with this? Just with if we got the portal down fast enough? I guess not. Druid's still way too strong.
I played against a couple of Mally Druids. They killed me very quickly.
Oh, easily?
Like, I was
Wow.
already yeah. I don't know. They played a plague in the net by them about 2 turns, and then I'm a UI you and have 5 armor. Like, you don't actually have that much damage because you use 6 board slots. Usually, like 4 of them are 3/2s, and
Mhm.
then maybe like a 2/6 or a 3/8. So at most, you're pushing 18, and that's if they do nothing. And they always do things.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I have bat in there. I was just trying out bat. I could drop bat for sure, but not one of the. The spirit of the bat isn't one of the stronger spirits I think out there right now. Anything other
I'm gonna be
differences?
honest, I don't even know what Spirit of the Bat does.
It gets +1/+1 to, shit. It's like if one of your guys die, I think you get +1/+1. I have to remember myself. I was just trying out some new.
No, that's all I need. I know it's bad. You don't know what it is, and it's in your deck.
Yeah. Shriek's pretty good though. I've been pretty happy with Shriek.
Shriek's just a good card.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the aggro. I think it's pretty decent against aggro. At least my version.
Shriek?
Like I
I
have
think it's
Shriek,
great.
I have Doomsayer, I have Defile, I have Hellfire, I have Spellstone, I have a 3/8 Taunt. I don't know. I feel like aggro is like a good matchup.
Yeah,
I haven't
for
run
sure.
into Doomsayers, I will admit. I think Doomsayer does make a lot of sense.
Doomsayer, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it does. But that makes it even slower, though. You know what I mean? Like, for sure, I can see why you have no shot whatsoever against like Melee Druids and stuff like that. But yeah, it does make sense though. Make it better, a better version of the deck it is right now. All right. Well, I mean, this has definitely been a lot of fun. Sottle, why don't you want to bring up one of yours? Which one do you want to talk about?
I don't mind. Dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice. Wow. Okay. Let's go rogue. How about that?
Okay.
Let me bring that one up. All right, here we go. Oops. Arg properly.
It's tiny. So yeah, this is Tempo Rogue, Pirate Rogue, whatever you want to call it. I always end up playing Tempo Rogue day one. I don't know why. There's just something about it that
farming nubs, man.
Well, yeah, I do tend to play aggro early because I just want to play like a lot of games because it lets me like feel the expansion as a whole quicker. You know, like you're playing more opponents with more different decks. So I just want to jam like a whole bunch of games. Plus, I hadn't played for like a while before this expansion, so I just wanted to hit Legend on 2 servers quickly. So again, playing aggro just seems smart. But like this deck, it's kind of similar to something that Pheno tweeted, except he had the Phantom Freebooter as his 4-drop, and I've been trying that. The 5/3 guy, like Ticket Scalper, the overkill draw cards guy, and Falderai Strider, like trying to work out which one I like most. And I'm on Striders at the moment. And Pheno also didn't play Cannon Barrage, which kind of mystifies me. I think that card is crazy.
Remind me what that one does again. Cannon Barrage.
So it's 3 base damage and then 3 more damage for every pirate you control.
Oh, wow.
So if you control 3 pirates, it's 12 damage, and you have prep in your deck. So
holy smokes.
Yeah, it's so much damage. Especially like because you're playing Myras as well. So you know when you play Myras, you want a finisher. So suddenly just deckhand, Cannon Barrage is just like a ridiculous amount of damage to throw out after you've drawn your deck.
Right.
So yeah, but
it's pretty versatile too. It could be board clear or it could be just all to the face, right? So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
Nice.
Obviously, you don't control it's random, but you're getting so many shots most of the time that you just play it in spots where it does a thing that you want it to do. Whether it's like kill 2 minions and do a bit of damage to face or whatever, like it just works. I guess the other thing to point out to people that aren't familiar with Pirate Rogue is just it's a Kingsbane deck now because you can just consistently redraw a weapon, which is great. So you just get multiple uses out of your deadly poison. So it's not like the infinite lifesteal version that we're used to seeing. It's just you equip a Kingsbane and smack you with it until you die.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that was like my next question was that Kingsbane. So makes sense. Get a little bit of. Is the life still in here?
No.
No. Okay, so it's just purely damage. Yeah, it's purely damage.
Yep.
Cool.
Why is there no 2-mana 2/2 that summons 1/1 when you smack things?
It's a great question.
So good. That guy is so good.
It's like the reason this deck got good.
I hit a pocket of sweaty druid players and started getting really tilted about all my 1/1s, so I took them out. Basically, is what happened.
Okay, but put that back in.
Okay,
please.
I've lost many games to just that minion just summoning 1/1s over and over and over. It's crazy.
Like I jammed a lot of even rogue, which makes that card even better.
Oh
yeah,
actually,
it's the same kind of thing as this, except it's even. But like you go harder on the pirates in my version.
Yeah, let me actually bring your
but
even.
You can still play prep and Cannon Barrage. 0 is even, contrary to belief.
Yeah.
Like, you also don't have backstab, which is also upsetting me. So the backstab card's nuts.
Okay, so this.
Originally I was playing 1, but then I can't remember what I wanted in there instead. But the backstab just kind of bit the dust. I don't know. I can see that.
Okay, so the deck on the right is Ike's version. So a little different.
I play the Ticket Scalper you're talking about. He's pretty cool. It makes Captain Hook Tusk like insane, right?
Yes.
Turn 8, it pulls those guys out. Let me draw 4 and kill your board.
Wait, what does he do again? The Ticket Scalper?
It's a 4-mana 5/3
Yeah.
overkill draw
Oh,
2.
right. Yeah.
And then Captain Hook Tusk gives it rush when it summons
Yeah.
it. So you get to
You get
attack
what
with
is
it
it?
immediately.
4 pirates or 3?
3 pirates.
3. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's
It's
super good.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
And you
you're
have the
playing a
1
lot
mana
more new
Shark
ones.
Fin.
You're playing a lot more new cards. Okay.
Yeah, Grave Shambler, that one came out this expansion too. That was a joke. It didn't actually. It's been around forever. It just sucks.
Dude,
Yeah.
But
that's
it's actually
sad
gonna be
because
even
I
though-
actually thought you were telling the truth.
No, I know. That's why I said.
That's so
but
sad.
nah.
Yeah.
I played Walk the Plank too because like I'm even, so I don't have as many prep targets.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I jam a couple of those.
That's
like 1 mana kill your dude.
kind of my problem with trying to build this deck is that it's one of those I want to play 40 cards because I want to play Vile Spines, I want to play Backstabs. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's just so much stuff that you can't include it all because eventually you like just end up with no pirate curve. Like originally I built the deck and I just realized I didn't have Hench Clan Thug in there, and I'm like, well, like what the hell am I doing? Like I'm playing Rogue without Hench Clan Thug, and I have to fit that.
Yeah,
in. So,
that
like,
card came out as like Admiral by when we were playing it.
yeah.
There just wasn't room.
Okay.
Like, but you have to cry a little at night to justify it. I can't play Henchland. That's why I put the even. I'm like, I'm too offended. I don't even have the option.
All right. So how strong is it? How strong is this even pirate?
I thought the both even and not even were probably top tier aggro decks.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know honestly if it's better than Odd. Because Odd didn't really get anything, but still, I think Odd might be better.
Yeah.
Kind of depends what decks become meta.
Yeah.
I don't really know which ones. Like Odd's gonna be better against like Shutter. I think this even one's probably better against Hunter.
Yeah,
Okay.
see that.
Yeah.
I think like Barrage in general is like potentially
That
like if this deck gets refined to the point where there's a list and the curve's smooth and everything works, like Cannon Barrage might be on the nerf list pretty soon because
I grossly underrated
so
it.
much damage.
Yeah. And it's like so easy just to combo it in a single turn too. That's the biggest thing, right? So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people when they're first reviewing are thinking, oh, well, you have to like set up all these pirates first. But it's like, nope, there's some cheap pirates you can just throw down like on turn 10.
One of my games, I was going first. So I went Dagger on 1, turn 2, the 2/2/1/1 man smack. He didn't clear it. And then turn 3, smack again, prep Cannon Barrage. 12.
12. Yeah.
12. A cool
You're dead.
12. And the
Kill all your
animation's so
stuff,
great
You're
too.
down to 15.
Yeah.
The animation's sweet, yeah. Like each pirate shoots their individual cannon.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we actually had the old cannon as well, like in the meta right now? Holy
The
smokes.
2/3 thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, give me Ship's Cannon Patches
Oh
back,
my
baby.
Yeah, give me
goodness.
patches,
Oh,
man.
patches too. Holy shit! Break the meta. No,
I mean, Wild, that's probably like a top tier deck.
I don't know. Is
Anything
it? I don't
pirate.
think.
Be right back, logging into Wild right now.
I don't think. it actually
Pirate
is.
Warrior, 100% insane. You have upgrade
Really?
and first mate, and now you got the Shark Fin. You can play Rogue too.
I feel like I don't even hear about those decks though. Like when Wild comes up, I never hear about broken stuff like that. I
Well, yeah, they're trying to do things that are cooler than just smashing your face with patches.
making sevens.
But it's probably really,
yeah,
really good.
exactly. Okay, well, let's talk about a different class here. Let's see what's next. I mean, we got a ton of shamans to talk about. Why not? Let's go to shaman, Mr. Shaman expert here.
Who's Sottle?
Yeah,
hell
yeah.
I was talking about
Hell
Sottle. Yeah, I was talking about Sottle. All right,
Dude, I'm really good at doomhammering some people. Okay,
All right, let's see
just
this.
gonna put it out there.
All right, so that I think this is Sottle's right with the Doom Hammer here. Wait, no, this is even.
That's even. Yeah.
This Ike's even. Okay.
Oh
so-
yeah, this is just old Ike even featuring Reign of Toads and Lickum.
Okay, and here's Sottle's.
Yeah.
And then I will. Oh, if you've already got even up there, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna show my Malagus shaman that was terrible for me, or at least in the beginning stages were terrible. It's still pretty rough. But okay, so we got 3 different ones. Saddles calls it OTK, so I was like, oh, it's OTK. It's gonna be Malagus. Yeah, let's take a look. And I'm like, what the? This is like total
It's
face,
an
face
OTK
shaman.
deck. You just play Electra, Rockbiter, and then you're good.
Yeah, it's pretty okay. So talk about this. So we've got a lot of new cards in this. So Totemic Smash, Lick, Spirit of the Frogs in here too. Wow. And then Cragwall, of course.
Yep.
So yeah. I mean, any kind of I guess talk through any big plays. I mean, you basically just going phase the entire time. With this
I
thing?
mean, you play for board early because you have, Voltaic Burst. You try and get Thunderhead on board to control. Unbound Elemental's a good minion. But it's basically like, if you draw a Doomhammer, you kind of just switch up and start slamming face. But there's like the Frog chain in there. So like, you play Frog and then Zap draws a Lightning Bolt or a Totemic Smash or something. Then that draws an Earthen Might or a Rock Biter. Then that draws a Feral Spirit or a Lava Burst, etc. So that's like the kind of chain you want when you're building a Frog deck. And yeah, it's just a throwback to just one of my favorite decks. I've had a blast playing it. I should say it's not mine as either. It's from what's the guy's name? Jericho. He hit top 10 legend with it. I saw Haroon tweeted it, and I was just like, oh, holy crap! If this works, like I'm playing it because I just love this deck. But like legit, you can deal 30 damage if you get everything set up.
This definitely feels faster than Odd Rogue. Like as an aggressive deck.
Yeah, the problem is you just lose board. Like looking at it, I kind of was wanting to get like a Diamole or something in there, like just some ability to like curve out into Flame Tongue more consistently, or curve out into Elemental buff thing, Earthen Might more consistently. But like all of the cards just seem pretty essential. Like maybe you could cut the Frog, but that doesn't get me the 2 spots that I need for the Diamoles. So I don't know.
I think so. Looking at it, I feel like you probably cut. I don't know if the Spirit's insane, but it definitely doesn't look insane. Like Unbound is kind of a sketchy card just on its own. Like I get there's a lot of overload, but
there's just nothing
I
at
could
3.
see this deck beating someone, man. Well,
so we Raven and I like co-op this on stream this morning. We won every game where we drew Frog, legitimately every single game.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Frog wasn't that good for me when I was trying it. But
you're not going face. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
So much manas.
It's 3 mana, but you get 2 turns worth of card draw off it. Like that's so much. Imagine getting 2 turns off every auctioneer you played. It'll be a lot worse when people start playing Void Rippers. I'm not gonna lie, but like, but for now, you get 2 turns of card draw off it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think long term that probably comes out.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
It's definitely seen like a 2 Voltaic kind of probably helps.
No,
like
I can see that one's good. Yeah, I could see a second one. Yeah.
Like I feel like Totemic whatever is worse than it.
This feels good though. Yeah, this feels like it would be really good, and it's got that kind of element of huge burst at the end too. With the Rock Biter, Doomhammers.
Smack him with the Doom.
How's Cragwall for you in this deck? Because I was struggling getting Cragwall to really be consistently good anywhere.
It's fine. It's not a superstar. Again, it would probably be like one of the first cards I cut, but you end up playing it on like turn 8 maybe. Like it helps with more resilient decks because you can't make it to like turn 10 with this deck. Like you just don't have that much game to keep going. You don't have enough minions to keep playing while you're chipping away with Doomhammer. Like you need to end it. So just setting up some kind of like, Rock Biter, Lava Burst on 7, and then you just like Frog on 8 and then try and kill them on 9. Like that's like your last hurrah, and it wins you some games that are otherwise unwinnable. Yeah. But it's not like a superstar of the deck for sure.
Yeah, it was well designed with, I think, with the amount of mana it costs, because I think if you made it cheaper, then there would be some stupid things you could do on the turn you play Cragwall. So people that haven't played it, you'll run into a lot of overload cards. So if you're like running Lightning Bolt or, anything, even if you're like trying to get removal cards like I was, like in my Malagas deck, it's like you're kind of screwed on the turn you play Cragwall. You can just play Cragwall and that's it. And then you have to wait until the following turn after that. But a little bit of clunkiness to that element to it. But
I think it needs to be. It should be 5. Like you can't make it 4 because then you can curve Volcano. But I think if they made like a 5 mana 3/3 or something, like just totally tone down the stat line and make it 1 mana cheaper.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot better.
Yeah,
like it would be more like you. It's not a card that you feel like, oh man, that card just there's no kind of like what. It's a 5 mana 3/3 if you can't kill me. But with the I don't think it could work in decks. But I mean, it could maybe work with like Farsights and stuff. But I had no success with the card. Like I just totally played a 6 mana 4/6 on 6 with it.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I almost cut it from my Malleus one. I was just like keeping it in it just to try out, you know, like getting multiple volcanoes and things like that. But it was super clunky for me.
Like I do like the concept in theory,
Yeah, me too.
especially in like in a Malagos deck, right? Because a lot of the time when you're playing against a combo deck, that's the number one way you beat them, right? Like you know, like Xerix Priest, just like make them use their smites on your minions, you know, just put pressure on them.
Yes.
You have like recycle ability that helps you out as a combo deck a lot, but yeah, it's a lot of mana and a card slot for not very much a lot of the time.
Yeah,
it's too expensive for an overload class.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing too. I tried an overload one too. I'm not going to show it, but I tried overload shaman, and man, overload shaman sucks. I mean, there's just not enough stuff.
Sottle's is like overload shaman.
No, not really. I mean,
There's
overload shaman has the giants and shit like
Frost
that.
Giant?
Yeah, and like the
That's my
spellstone.
jam.
It's so bad though, man.
Well, in about one in every 40 games, you can make a Snowfury Giant cost 0, and then Ancestral Spirit, and then Spellstone it, and then make a nice tweet.
And then they just,
That's
Psychic Scream it. And then you're just like, oh, yeah.
I mean, I didn't say it was good.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the middle one. So the left middle one is Ike's Even Shaman. The right one is mine. Little different takes on it. You know, I think mine was, had a lot of inspiration from your old Even Shaman as well. But I tried a little bit more early game than you. You know, like putting some eggs in here, putting some. I used to have a Primal Fin in here too, but it's not there at this moment. But I had egg in there. Egg's been pretty good for me, to be honest. Like, getting Earthen Mites on it, getting Flametongue Totems, and then getting those 3 minions from it. It's like crazy. But I haven't really decided. Tried Rain of Toads too. It's kind of interesting.
Rain of Toads carry.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Egg's
Toads
what I want in my deck. I'm just thinking about it. I might try that after this. All right, carry on.
Could be Knife Jugglers or something too. I don't know.
Are you sure? Can we carry on?
Yes.
Okay.
So you got Rain of Toads too in yours, huh? What'd you think of that card?
Dude, Rain of Toads is sweet in this. Like, it's a lot of stuff. Like 3 2/4s in a tokening deck where you could follow it up with Flame Tongue. So I explain this a lot with Even Shaman. So your turns like 1 through 4 are good, right? You've got powerful 2-drops with 1 mana totems, right? And then once you get to that 5, 6, 7 area, you're really struggling. So on 6, that you have Rain of Toads, the overload for 7 doesn't actually matter, because when you get back to 8 mana is where your power spike comes back up. So Rain of Toads kind of fills this in-between scenario that Fire Ellie and Gen and other 6-drops really weren't cutting. So and it also is really good when you're behind, which is also why Thunderhead Beaker Lightning were in my deck are in my deck, because comeback mechanisms aren't easy for the deck. So the Rain of Toads, I think, is a super big upgrade. I'm not entirely sold on 2 Lickums. Like, I'm probably going to make that a 1-of and probably put in another 8-drop.
Another 8-drop? Wow, okay. Like,
yeah, well, I don't have any Bone Mares, so I would probably put a Bone Mare back in.
Yeah, I like Bone Mare. Well, mine's a little bit different build than yours, right? Because I go a little bit wider than you do. But so I need just more targets.
I mean, you only have, like, your egg is my 1 ooze and beakered, so the early game's pretty comparable.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I guess this version of it that I have right now isn't too different. Yeah, but yeah, the extra Rain of Toads, yeah, it might be actually worth it. I could definitely see that. What do you guys think?
It also justifies the Lickum more.
Yeah, what do you guys think of Lickum? Like, even in your deck, Sottle.
Card's the nuts. It's so good.
In his deck, that card looks like just the 3/3
oh my,
all the time.
it's just 2 mana 9 damage. Like it's so good. And like even if I'm not going face with it, like without that card, the win rate would just drop off so dramatically because you just lose board so overwhelmingly by like turn 3 or turn 4 every game. So yeah, that card's crazy. I think we're going to be seeing that in like basically every shaman deck that plays overload cards. But I mean, Shadowwalk maybe not, but yeah.
Stoneclaw, the way it should have been, basically. Crazy, so good. Yeah, anything else to mention? So what do you think about Calamos in your even? Like I actually dropped it just because I don't know. It's nice to get the damage, or like but that's pretty much all I use it for. It's just like damage to the face.
Deal 3. Oh, no.
Right?
You AoE with it like every time.
Oh yeah, it's AoE. It's either AoE or damage face. Like that's all I ever use it for.
Yeah, both
so.
are nuts.
Yeah.
And
I
it's so
guess
easy to
that's true.
play elementals. Like you run a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would cut other stuff over that, I think.
Yeah.
Like
fair enough.
the 8 mana turn is so important. You need to make sure that it's doing something.
Yeah. Okay, and the last thing I have here is Malagus. It's kind of like the Malagus build a lot of people, people build in the past. It has Eureka in it. I put Krogla in it. Obviously, the 2 totemic smashes is a big part of it. It's so hard to get the 5 cards together. Like I could not draw through this deck. Like that was the biggest issue with this thing is, like waiting for Acolyte and Volcano is like very painful. It's tough to do most of the time. And then, you've got things like Electra and Lightning Storms and stuff that will clear boards. But overall, it's just like, man, you're just like getting pounded on like the entire game and hoping that you draw the 5 cards you need, which kind of sounds like, yeah, what would you expect? It's an OTK deck. But the other OTK decks are stronger as you go. This one doesn't feel that strong because Shaman just has a very limited, I would say like minions, to play as you're going up.
Yeah. Whenever I build a Mali Shaman, you're never able to make Mali your sole win condition.
Yeah.
So in these kind of decks, you got to read like double Eureka, Snow Fury Giant package with Lich King and stuff, because you being able to consistently get Mali and burn spells isn't gonna happen, right? Like you're gonna have to use a Totemic Smash or Lightning Bolt just to get to the point where you have the time to draw. Like unless you jam a Farsight on a Goose or something, you're never really gonna kill them with that. Or if your Mali sticks, but then you don't have anything else either because your burst is only small stuff, right?
Yeah.
So having it as a soul win condition doesn't work. I mean, I'm gonna try a Mali with other stuff, but I don't think that Totemic Smash really, pushes it over the edge. One card though that's not in any of these decks, which I actually think is busted, is the 3 mana discover a spell. Your next spell costs 0.
The Haunting Visions
value and like it doesn't sound like it'd be that good, right? Like 0 mana discover a shaman spell. No, but when you think about the shaman spells and the versatility that a lot of the offers, even if in your 3 discover options, you'll generally get one that you want. Like one could be face damage, one might deal with the board, and one could be like a utility Earthen Might, right? So you don't know a lot of times what shaman spell you need. So having that in your back pocket and then having a Lightning Storm ready for that turn is huge. Like also like bigger Lightning Zap cards that you can discover from it too, making your turn like clear Volcano. I think that's definitely going to go in Shutterwalk. I could even see it in an aggro version, but judging by what Sottle said that the slots are so tight, it probably doesn't make the cut. But that's a really cool card. I just wanted to bring up.
I played it quite a bit in my Malagus one, and it's a little bit different just because I'm purely going control, right? And I was missing all the time. Like I think the only control when I felt like I was getting consistently was the freaking Frost Bolt thing or whatever. And it was just, so I was missing a bunch, but that's like a limited sample, of course. It does sound cool, right? You get the discount and you get you just get a new spell. It's not discovering from your deck, right?
Yeah.
So that's a lot better than like the Spirit itself. Like the Spirit, I was like just having trouble at times. But yeah. So anyways, I agree with you. That Haunting Vision is a pretty interesting card to experiment with. I still feel like Shaman's just missing a little bit. It's like I think the next expansion, like we're gonna lose some cards obviously, but I think the next expansion could be the really really good one for Shaman. Like just kind of putting everything together.
Expansion.
Yeah, same as the last 3 expansions, right?
Dude, this expansion Shaman's gonna be.
No, come on, we're still making up for time where they completely wasted an expansion on the Frost shit. That was just like completely.
Why'd you bring that up?
That was just completely waste of design and cards.
Built
no, dude, we're still punishing Shamans for the 18 months straight they were the best class in the game.
Totem Golem.
We're so far from that, though. It's just like
I didn't play during that time, man. That was my break.
Yeah,
I never got to. My highest power Shaman deck was like Kazan Mystic, Vitality Totem, Zombie Chow, Harvest, like just a bunch of crap, and that's what I like.
Oh my God. Okay.
It's those days.
Okay. Well, real quick, guys, I just want to let you guys know that this episode of Alley Time is sponsored by Simple Contacts. If you guys never heard of Simple Contacts, it's like a very modern way to order your contacts these days. Instead of like going to your optometrist and having to get an eye test every single time you want to get a new prescription, even if it's the same prescription. What Simple Contacts does for you is that you can actually go and jump on their website, simplecontacts.com, and if you want to do the promo, which I'll tell you about in a second, you can do /ValueTown. But you just go to their website. You can use their app too. And what they do is that they actually have a vision test that they can give you like right then and there. And they actually have doctors that will be basically reviewing all these results from these tests. And if you have the same prescription as you currently do, then they'll go ahead and write you a new prescription. If it's different, then you'll still have to, do the normal, go to your, local optometrist and still do that. But if you have the same vision and you need a new prescription, they basically can provide that for you really, really easily online. And right now you can have your vision test for like $20. Vision tests usually cost like $50 to $100, I believe. And you can do one for like $20 right now if you go to, again, simplecontacts.com/ValueTown and get it done. And it's really simple. It only takes like 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes apparently. So yeah, try it out. And of course, give them a shout out for sponsoring the show. And hope you guys can get some new contacts. All right, let's see. Next class we got here is Priest. Are we gonna do Priest? Man, I was like pretty excited to try Priest, but I never got a chance to actually build anything. So we've got, I think Ike, you're the one that built Priest, right?
I do have some Priest built, yeah.
All right, you got two of them. We got.
Well, one of them wins games, the other doesn't.
It's okay. It's all good. Okay, so we got questing, and we've got, what's the other one? It's dragon, right?
It's the real one. So lame.
Okay, I might have to get that one ready. Talk about the questing one for now. The bad one.
I mean, you can make a really big questing and smack him with it. Like, it's pretty cool.
Is that it?
There's a lot of 0 mana stuff.
Oh God.
I was excited about it because of like Grave Horror, but man, that's hard to get cheap before you lose.
Yeah.
The Auchenai 3/2 lady's pretty cool, but it's hard to fit that and circle into like a real deck package. I think maybe like regular Divine Spirit Fire probably is what this deck should be if you want to win.
Yeah.
Is it that much?
Yeah.
Is it that much better at 2 versus 4? Like having that play.
Yeah.
Available.
Also,
to you?
being able to just shoot on for turn 4 is really nice too.
Okay.
Like,
sure.
Spends your mana, which is hard to do a lot in empty turns.
Okay. Yeah.
The 3 mana that someone's 1/1 taunts is actually pretty cool. Like that card, no one actually thought was real. I think it actually might be.
Yeah, that thing impressed me too. I played a little Divine Spirit Priest, and I was impressed with that guy as well.
I didn't even realize the things had taunt. I thought it was just like a worst Violet teacher.
Yeah.
But they do.
Yeah.
But the Dragon deck's actually really good. So the 5 mana Priest spell thing is insane.
Which
like
one?
absolutely
Massisteria?
nuts.
Yeah.
We were
how
do you even? I don't even know how to play around it. I sat there and thought about like, what am I supposed to do? And was like, no, just play an odd amount of good stat. Like, no,
that doesn't work.
I gotta kill him before Scream.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So now you have a lot more tools. Like the Dragon deck will just farm any aggro, like pretty hard. You've got the heal too, and the 2 mana guy that discovers more heal pretty consistently.
Who's that? Who's
the 2 mana 2/2 if you're holding a dragon, discover a spell.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow. Okay.
It's something you could do on turn 2, which the deck didn't even have besides Pyro too.
So the
And
win. What's the win
5 mana
condition here? Just
you have Alex Mind Blasts.
Okay.
It's the same as like I couldn't think of a better one that has dragons in it already. Like Divine Inner you can go, but it's hard to use the 5 mana spell, which I think is what makes the class better. So I think you have to run the Mind Blast stuff. At least right now.
Okay.
Maybe I can think of something later, but I mean that's just a solid deck. Like you can win a lot of games, especially early on in the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably going to be a good tournament deck too. Like you could sideboard or you could change the cards and then like boom. You just add like holy fires and stuff and then you got the burst.
I hope it's not that good of an event deck. It's not. It's not that exciting.
exciting.
Yeah, there's not that
No,
many
it's
things that are
so
interesting
bland.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just Mind Blast Priest with some new cards. But
with
Yeah.
more removal. That's about
yeah,
it.
like
Yeah.
Mass Hysteria is crazy though. Like I didn't send you this because I'm nowhere near like deciding how I want it to be built, but I was playing Topsy Priest, like APM Priest, because I really like playing that deck, and like Mass Hysteria just gets you to the point where you're alive like so much more often. I still doubt that deck is a viable alternative to the other things that you can do when you get to like turn 9 and 10, but like from the 20% win rate deck it was day one of the last expansion, I think it's a lot better than that now with Mass Hysteria. It's
45.
Yeah, yeah, somewhere around there.
I love how with Mass Hysteria, like 0 attack minions go and attack and kill themselves anyways.
It's really good against the spirits.
Hell?
Yeah,
Your minions attack, and then they could also attack face.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's like yeah. So, anyways,
0 attack minions just like hold my beer. I've got this.
well, let me just kill myself on your face.
Yeah.
Like basically, it's definitely. We had some questions about the interaction before, but I think a lot of those are answered now, and it's super good. Definitely super good. Okay, so let's see. Next up, we've got Hunter. So I know Sottle has a Hunter. And I have a Hunter too. Mine's not very exciting. It's pretty much just like Spell Hunter with a couple new cards.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise, it's still good. Like nothing that surprising about it. But Sottle's got the more mid range. He labels it idiots.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, you just play idiots. It's fine. You just play
idiots.
Oh god, such a good name. Okay. All right, why don't you go first? No, I'll talk about mine's on the left. His is on the right.
So mid-range Hunter just hasn't been good for a very long time because it just lost early game too often, and it like wasn't doing impressive enough things. Like a high main just wasn't game winning anymore like it used to be, right? Like just play a high main against Control Warrior and they lose these days. It just doesn't work like that. But Spring Pour is just so insane in terms of like winning early game that okay, so the Spring Pour Hyena combination, this is something I want to talk about because just about every expansion people want to play Scavenging Hyena, and I've always been I've always been that naysayer. It's like, no, you guys are dumb, like Hyena is terrible, right? Because like when Alley Cat came out, people were like, whoa, you play Alley Cat on 1 and then you play Hyena on 2, bam, brain exploded. But like now you have so many chances to go off with Hyena because you can just curve Spring Pour, you can hold Spring Pour and play it after Hyena, you can hold Hyena if you draw it like turn 4, turn 5, you can hold on to it and play Halazi and just get a full hand of 1/1 rush guys, and then you have an insane Hyena. You can also build Halazi off Deathstalker Rexar, so you can still get a handful of 1/1 rushes.
Oh, I've never done that. Wow.
After Deathstalker Rexar.
Crazy.
So now I'm kind of feeling like it might be a real thing for once.
Kind of like an
but actually,
Edwin-ish
this is what made me stop playing last night. So I hit Legend on NA with this deck, and then switched over to EU, and then I think it was like my game to get promoted to like rank 2 or something, and I was playing against Odd Mage, and it was going into their turn 7, and I just had that feeling that it was a Ragnaros turn for them, like the 7 mana guy that summons Rag. So I put a 4/3 Hyena on board, and there was 3 minions in play, and I was just like, okay, sick. That he can't play Rag here because I had Halazi. I had a full hand of like 8 1/1 rushes. So if the guy plays Rag and misses, I just charge 8 guys into his Rag and kill him with like a 22 attack Hyena. I was like, okay, cool. He's not playing Rag this turn. And the guy just plays Rag anyway and hits my Hyena on a 1 and 4. I just top right, closed the client, went to bed. That was it. That was my Hearthstone for the day. But,
what do you expect from Rag? Come on,
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I'm real sorry.
I was so upset. Like, how often do you get to 22 attack Scavenging Hyena someone?
That's
you talk
true.
about a good tweet. That would have been a good tweet.
Yeah,
That would have
that's
been
true.
a good tweet. Yeah.
Stole it from me.
That's true.
Like the other crucial card I want to talk about is Bitter Tide Hydra, because it's about the only thing you play that can stick to a board and hurt a mage through a Dragon's Fury turn. everything else in your deck you can't play and say, okay, go ahead and Dragon's Fury me. Whereas Bitter Tide Hydra, you can, like, you still get to hit them for 8 afterwards. Because even high main, right, you only have 4 damage in play after they Dragon's Fury and clear your board. It's just not that good. So I like Bitter Tide Hydra has been really, really clutch for me as well.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely interesting. I've definitely played against this deck a lot, so I've kind of experienced at least the power of it, and just like you said, those 2, 3, 4 turns are just extremely consistent and powerful now.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, like those first 4
Yep.
turns, crazy good.
Yep.
So you know, when you can
So it's
nail
just
your
like-
curve well, that's going to be awesome.
Is Halazi just good?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
it's
Halazi's
just a
great.
good card.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think it would be good, but
It's not good. It's only good in this deck though, like this kind of deck, I would say. I don't think it's
this
good
is a
in.
temple. It's a 5-mana 3/2.
I know.
Yeah. You
But-
see, Ixar tweeted that they like had to take a health off it in development.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they had to take a health off.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you and fills your hand, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like amazing card draw.
Yeah,
Like-
for me, the reason why it's so good is it gives you enough stuff to just get you to Rexar in more games.
Right.
When that's the kind of game that you need it to be.
Rexar.
Yeah.
I wanted to commend you on the excellent job of putting Rexar, Shaw flanking strikes in.
Yes.
A lot of people build hunter decks and don't put those in some reason,
Yes.
and it offends me. But
Why? Yeah,
Hats
that's
off to
crazy.
you.
Okay, thank you.
Flaming Strike's
You're welcome.
ridiculous. Yeah, but so anyways, yeah. So my hunter's on the left. It's a spell hunter version of it. Just trying some of the new cards, but it's very similar to the Rock the Lark deck that a lot of people know. But I did try Revenge of the Wild, which it's just kind of so-so, I would say. I mean, for 2 mana, you do get like your value's worth, but it's usually like a Misha or something from Animal Companion, basically, most of the time. Baited Arrow, dude, Baited Arrow is way better than I thought.
Yep.
Like
Same.
way miles better than I thought, because I get that 5/5 almost every time I use it.
Yep.
And it's amazing. Like,
overkill is like pretty easy to do so far.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's been my impression of all the overkill cards.
I think like a lot of the time you're just like faced with this decision of like, do I want to throw away this weapon charge to get overkill? Do I want to throw away this 1/1 to get overkill? And a lot of the time, like that's just fine.
Yes.
Yeah, I will trade this 1/1 for a 5/5. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
Yeah. I mean, I threw in a Crushing Walls just because I wanted Zul'jin to be able to clear board, like, or at least clear it to some degree. So just including that, it's been pretty good, to be honest. Like, no, I feel like nobody ever plays around it, so I just like kill great minions that way. But Zul'jin's...
Crushing Walls is a real day 1 buff card for sure. Like that,
For sure.
That's gonna get worse.
Yeah, for sure it will. But Zul'jin's been a lot of fun. You'll kill command yourself a lot of times, but to my side is amazing with Zul'jin. I mean, you just fill your board basically.
Yeah,
And-
Zul'jin is nuts in this deck.
Yeah.
You have the full meme Zul'jin though. You have the mill yourself and kill command your own face Zul'jin, which I'm
That's right.
not.
Yeah, the
100%
trackings, right?
Yeah.
Trackings too. So it's not not optimized.
We
it could be
talked about
optimized a bit more. Yeah.
I think
Talked about it a
it's fine though, because you just don't
just good.
play tracking in matchups where that matters, right? Like already against like Control Warrior, you don't play tracking in Hunter a lot of the time, right? So if you're playing against Warrior, you just don't play tracking, and then you Zul'jin, and then if you need to track afterwards, then you can. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's fine.
But same strengths as always. Spellstone's still amazing, crazy amazing. Flanking strikes are good. I mean, there's some games I just win purely by Eagle just hitting face and kill commanding, and you just win Hunter, old school Hunter style. And so it's good. I mean, I probably was like 12-1 or 2 with this deck, and it's not even optimized. So it's
I feel like
insane.
it's safe to say that Hunter is the best class in the game.
Very possibly, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Will-
Death Rattle
we-
Hunter is the uber nuts.
Yeah.
Spell Hunter is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aggro Hunter is now better. Like they're all
We'll
good.
wait and see for the real druids to come back, but for now, like, yeah, it seems.
Yeah, the real druids. Those,
Yeah.
those will get you.
The real trends.
But
You mean
yeah,
my
it's
real
weird.
druid.
Hunter seems real good. Something Raven pointed out to me this morning as well is that you can't cast Revenge of the Wild. You can't just like throw it away. If no beasts have died, it just won't let you cast it, which is actually kind of relevant, right? Because sometimes you'll want to just throw it into your Zul'jin pool, like even if you're not going to use it and you're going to end up Zul'jining, and you can't do that if no beasts have died, which is kind of an interesting choice. I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
worth knowing.
I'm a little lukewarm on that card. That card's droppable for sure, at least in this version. Maybe in a another one that does run. Maybe the ones that run like high mains and crushes and things like that might be able to run something like that more effectively, but not this. For sure, Hunter has a lot of dynamics, and I think it's like a setup for when Rexar goes away. That Hunter will still be in a decent state instead of just like. Yeah, I know it probably won't happen, but they're trying to keep it in like some kind of power state so that it doesn't just drop to oblivion after Rexar's gone.
What's Katharina?
If Katharina's with Rexar, Hunter's gonna be trash.
No, I think Katharina
was kobolds, so
yeah, it's still gonna be.
I don't.
It's still be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could still probably. Well, wait, what about Egg?
Oh, Egg is gone. I'd be surprised.
Yeah. Unlucky.
Yeah, but you can just come up with another Egg. That's like super easy. That's that's not a big deal.
X Journey, right? Yeah, X Journey.
Yeah, you could easily just come up with another Egg and be fine. So yeah, Hunter definitely up there for no question. It was already up there, so this is.
They made the best, the second best class better.
Yeah. Oh,
balance, baby, balance.
Mini Egg in Death Rattle Hunter, yay or no?
Yeah.
Mini Egg? Which one's that?
I think Mini Egg's worth it.
Okay.
0-2 Egg.
The 0-2
Make
Egg.
one once.
Oh yeah. I thought you were going to say the 0-2 that gives you 8 armor. I'm like, what? No, what the hell is that card even made for?
Played it.
Yeah,
It is.
Exactly. Okay, speaking of Druid, let's bring up your Druid. This is what he's been just salivating over the whole time. So if you guys didn't watch the episode a couple episodes ago, Ike was very, very high on Druid, or at least the possibilities of doing some cool stuff with Druid.
Yeah.
Druid, not even once.
Is like acceptable.
Me too.
Druid.
Not even a single time. I did not play Druid a single time this
I rage tweeted earlier. I've been trying to cut back on the rage tweets. But,
Psych villain it is. All right, let's see. Let's hear about this.
Psych villain's nuts, dude. You draw the 7 guy, the 8 guy, and either Undasta or Hadronox.
You GC Watermelon a lot now in Druid. Like
people run 2, but I refuse because it's dead then. But the first one's always insane. The deck is super powerful. Like. Okay, so if you ever have Wild Growth into the 6 mana thing, game's over. Like, you just pull out one of these guys, Undasta. If you ever get Undasta, that card's just absurd in this deck.
You've got Undasta.
Cheating out Undastas are nuts. Like, Witchwood Grizzlies come out. Yeah. Like, the amount of powerful turns I've had with the deck has been insane.
This looks fun, for sure. It looks super fun.
It's viable, too, which is shocking to me. I thought it was going to be a meme. I'm not 100% sold on the cubes yet. I think sometimes I run out of value. Like once they clear the Hadronox board, sometimes I'm a little dead. So I might need to find more stuff. But it could also just be like people are playing random bad cards that beat random big boards of stuff. But
can I interest you in a 12-12?
That's what somebody suggested.
No,
everyone is like Tyrantus. What do I need a Tyrantus for?
Because it's a 12.
Because it's a 12-12 that can't be targeted.
What if I don't play the 6 mana thing that makes it in play? Then it's a 10 mana 12-12.
No, it's a 9 mana 12-12 because Undasta will just pull it out instead. You're good.
There you go.
Okay, but what if that doesn't happen?
I don't know. He's pretty good, dude. Tyrantus is pretty good.
Well, all my beasts do things.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is nice.
A Death Rattle Hunter Katharina is a good example, right? The best pieces from Katharina are the ones with taunt, or the ones that affect the board.
Sure.
And that's basically the same principle here.
So
you have enough tools to survive. Like you've got spellstones and armor because you're Druid. Like you could beat aggro really easily.
But this deck doesn't have UI or Spreading Plague. How could this even be a Druid deck without either of those things?
I had a UI in it originally, but the Psych Melon seemed better than UI because I could play it earlier.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Okay.
And Plague you can't play because you want your Witching Hours.
Yeah.
You also don't need Plague generally. Like, what decks do you know that go really wide that are going to beat a big board of 3/12s? Like, whatever.
Have
I'm
you seen
interested
the Firebat build with like the Astral Tiger Undertaker Infinite Loop?
Yeah,
Oh, which one's that?
I saw a bunch of people tweet about it.
What's the
I don't know if
infinite
I
loop?
buy it putting Astral Tiger. So you put Astral Tiger in as a death rattle, and then you can go like Undertaker, and
yeah.
they keep shuffling.
And then Undertaker just puts himself back in the deck, and then if you play two
Right.
Astral Tigers, two Undertakers go back in the deck, so you draw the next one even quicker, and you have like Oaken Summons pulls out the Tigers for you, so you get them done like really quickly. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's like an upgrade on the old school Tiger deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Astral Tiger's in your deck on purpose, though. It's like,
yeah,
it's tough.
Right.
Not quite as bad as putting Shadow Vault in your deck on purpose, but pretty bad.
So
it was on purpose.
Is Oaken Summons strong enough to like get through just all the aggro? I mean, you got branching paths too for health, but I mean,
yeah. I mean, you're Druid. Your removal is great.
It's Spellstone Swipe.
Yeah, Spellstone Swipe, sure. Okay.
And then once you get the Grizzly.
If that's
Oaken Summons is so nuts, and it's like the 10th best Druid card.
I know,
right? Oaken Summons is the one that triggers me the most. When someone goes wildly with Oaken Summons, I'm like, get me out. I don't even care what their hand is. I'm done. I want a third Oaken Summons target too.
Because man, yeah. I mean, if you can just go scot-free, I mean, this is pretty strong, dude. Yeah, this looks pretty strong.
You do crazy powerful things.
Yeah, it does like the crazy powerful hunter things.
Yeah, the cubes are not like if any of my minions live. Like, look at every single minion in the deck. If they get cubed, you're pissed. 3/12s, 5/7 rushes, 7/7 charge, Undasta, Hadronox. If you ever witching out your Hadronox.
What do you think about playing another Devilsaur?
I was just going to say the image was a little bit small. You're playing 2 bear, 1 Devilsaur. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Is the bear better than Devilsaur?
Well, you could play it a turn earlier, and they do the same thing, right? And that has taunt. The only difference is if you pull it out, it can't go face.
Right. That's pretty big.
I could probably see Devilsaur going in, but like the slots are really tight.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't know what I wanted to cut because I definitely wanted. I want to put 40 cards in here, but I can't. You can go a different approach. Like you can go with Florist and less Amani and Hadronox stuff if you want, and then just go for like Charge Devilsaur face, Cube, Witching Hour stuff. But I think
I do enjoy just like looking at the caliber of Druid card that you just don't even play in any given Druid deck. Like,
Try to play fair.
Try to play fair.
Just not playing Innovate, not playing Wrath. There's just like a whole other deck's worth of cards that are top tier that you can play.
You might be getting ready for HCT, man. Like, but okay. Let's see if there's any other classes we forgot here. I think I covered.
By the way, this was supposed to be the expansion where Druid got the dick. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Druid got nothing." Yeah, right.
No.
Who did get screwed this time? I thought Rogue got screwed, but I don't know. You guys,
Warrior
did?
Warrior.
Dude, that Rush Warrior's pretty good. All that stuff. No, you don't think so?
No.
Man, that 5, that big whatever one where they +5/+5.
That big whatever one.
No, the legendary guy.
I know we said in the intro like we don't know cards. Just tell us. What
I forget the name of it. The big bear dude or whatever his name is. Like the gives a +5/+5. The Rush guy.
Rush 5/5.
Yeah.
Mana.
The one that gives you +5. Yeah.
Alkali bear something.
Yeah. Akali. That's what it is.
Oh
yeah. Because it's like the same as the freaking League of Legends.
Yeah.
But dude, that guy's really good. Like I've been screwed by that play like a lot. Not to mention the early game is no.
We have a saying over at the camp of Ike. If you don't have Baku hero power, your warrior sucks.
Well, okay, yeah, that's probably
the dragon
still
stuff
true.
is cool, but it sucks. Like even cost cards.
Yeah.
Not good enough, man.
The problem with the dragon package is like they gave them like execute on a stick, which is like it's like a tempo deck minion, right? It's like Valspine Slayer. It's something that you want to play in an aggressive deck. But then the rest of the dragons in it is like 5/5 gain 5 armor, which is a control card. Like make your mind up. So you end up playing this deck where like you tempo out for a bit because you have all this great tempo stuff from like 1 to 6. But then you have no finisher, so you fall back to being a control deck and you just lose all your initiative. Like the deck
Yeah.
can't decide what it
Well-
wants to be doing. Like,
Well, that just
That was
sounds
how
like the
I-
problem. Period with Warrior. There's just no win condition outside
Yeah.
of fatigue, right?
Fatigue.
Like,
yeah.
it's god awful. Okay, well, yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see what people try at least. I haven't played Warrior that much yet, but God, they could really use
Yeah,
it.
there's a reason.
There's a
Don't.
reason. Okay.
Ball Control tweeted like Face Warrior like 10 minutes before we went live. I played like 2 games. It felt really bad, but I'm going to play it some more because it was
obviously.
it was fun and really bad. So I'm on board.
Base like
There's heroic
what are we talking
strikes.
about? Like Korocrons and
The
crap
yeah,
like
Gulf
that.
race, right?
Yeah, Soul Thrays
Yeah.
and
Soul Thrays, yeah.
So like the early game is all like enrage and damage base. You've got like the 1/3 that deals 1 damage to a guy when you play it,
Oh,
and there's
jeez.
the 0/4 +4 damage when enraged, 2 mana 0/4, and then
No.
there's frothing berserkers, inner rages, battle rage,
Ah!
rush package, like 15 weapons, so your hand has 3 weapons in it all the time. Like it's great. What a deck.
If Rush was only charged, man, like it'd be amazing. But yeah,
Can we do a segment where I just find a random deck on Twitter and just read out the cards and we watch Ike's face? to
sound
see-
effects,
Yeah,
the sounds of Ike.
Yeah.
That's like Tuesday.
That's like, okay. All right. Well, anyways, that kind of wraps up just us talking about decks. Super fun. You know, we're gonna obviously get some more decks to talk about next week, but I've been having a blast so far. You know, I think Rastakhan Rumble's been successful, at least in my eyes so far. Okay. Well. Before we move on, we're going to talk about HCT 2019, but I want to give a shout out real quick to our patrons, all you guys that support the show. You guys are the main reason we're able to do this show. So I always want to give a shout out or save some time to give shout outs to folks that have been supporting the show for a long time. So our legendary producer Mike T, as well as Raydan, Bryce L, Nick P, Peter V, Keepa, Greg S, Chris Chillmall, Anticrisis, Gotrix, Raisa, Michael S, and Bradley M, just to name a few. Thanks so much, guys. If you're interested in maybe throwing a pledge our way, go to patreon.com/valuetown, and we greatly appreciate it. Might start up the whole deck of the weeks things again now that the expansion's out, so that we can kind of what we used to do is we used to pick a deck and then we would all play it together, and then we'd have a special night with the patrons where we would discuss it, and I did an audio only mini show with them. So
That's cool.
can start that up again. So I'll post a deck of the week probably tomorrow, so we can do it. Okay, well, next topic that we had was HCT. So HCT, the esports team announced just some details on HCT 2019. I'm kind of confused as to why they just didn't wait to have just like the full out details of everything, but they definitely sent out this kind of teaser that has like details, but just not like just everything, given that there's definitely some questions that come from this, and but this is at least something really good to discuss, and 2018 is not finished yet, but they always have to like have 2019 ready by the end of the year. I think that's kind of how it's gone the last 2 years. So let's talk about this. So first off, I think the big thing is that there's going to be $1 million in prizing, like for the entire year, which is like super cool. But there's a little big, what was that? 4 million? Oh, 4 million. Sorry, 4 million. Yeah, there's 1 million for the last thing. So 4 million in all across 2019, and some really, really big changes. First one being the ladder is just not going to play a role in qualifying anymore, which super surprising. I mean, in some ways, a lot of people are like, okay, finally, like we don't have to have this grinding of the ladder, but pretty crazy. So that's going to be replaced by these online qualifiers, kind of like the online cups that we used to have like a while back. There's apparently going to be like hundreds of these qualifiers now that people can qualify that way. We're going to have these live tournaments now, these like 3 big live tournaments, like I think a season. And these are going to be 250,000 like per event. So we won't have all these tour stops like we had last year. It's just going to be these 3 main events. So I think in total it'd be 9, I guess, like for each season. I think that's how it would add up. And then we'd still have the world championships and stuff like that. But definitely a lot fewer official HCT events. And then we'll have a tier system now. So we'll have like this, online qualifying tier up to like live tournament tier. And then you have like this premier competition, which is like more of a invitation only for just the top players, that sort of thing. So how this translates from like, I guess, the current system with all these points, they actually kind of map out like, what the 2019 benefits will be depending on, where you are point wise. And Ike, where are you on this? Like you 120?
Non-existent.
Non-existent. Okay, never mind.
Bare minimum for playoffs.
Bare minimum for playoffs. All right. So that's not listed here, but it's good that there's at least some translation into this listed out here. And yeah, I mean, that kind of sums up, at least the biggest, I think, elements to it. So yeah, let's kind of dive in. So also there's a format change too. They haven't said anything about what the format is, but it won't be Conquest, which I think a lot of people are generally happy about, just because just having something change up, I think is probably a good thing. Now we just have to see what it ends up changing into. Okay, so let's start off by talking about ladder in online cups, just to kind of start somewhere.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on removing ladder from the entire equation? Therefore, none of this kind of grinding and watchstone, just that kind of thing. And then bringing back the online cups that are going to be held by a third party. It's not going to be held, it's definitely going to be run by some third party partner that Hearthstone's going to be working, or the Hearthstone esports team will work with. Hopefully they'll be run well. Let's just assume that they all run well. We don't have any.
I think they announced two.
Oh, did they? Oh, who it was? Who the partner was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I might have missed that. Do you know who it was? Like
the company tweeted it. I don't know if they were supposed to.
Really?
Be on.
Okay. So
I'm
is it like
assuming-
Battlevy or something like that, or is it something? I mean, is it some? Okay. Anyways, well, I'll have to look exactly who that company is. I didn't realize they had tweeted that, but okay. So what do you guys think? Ladder, no influence on this. Thoughts? Bad. Okay.
I think initially people are gonna like it because God, last day grinding sucks, but I think it's a change that I'm gonna like for about 3 months and then be like, wow, what am I gonna do if I already won my open cup? How do I play Hearthstone with an objective? Like ladder is fun generally. Like besides the last exact 12 hours of the last day of the month, ladder is usually fun for me. Like I spend all the time playing random decks, seeing if I could win, and then tryharding the last 2 days, 3 days. So I kind of like ladder as a lot of people also qualify solely through ladder. Like they could play on their phone on the train till they work full time. Like I know a lot of people were complaining about that because like 50% of the people that qualify for playoffs qualified only through ladder. Like they don't have the means to travel either to they didn't have the means to travel to the events. And open cups generally are longer time periods in which you have to play. If you keep winning, the more time the single open cup is going to take. So they say like you could do open cups whenever you want, but that's not true because they take so long. Like your hour lunch break, you can't sit there and take 3-4 ladder games of this aggro deck, right? So I think it's not great for people who aren't fully dedicated to the game, which is a large amount of the pro scene, honestly.
Sottle, your take?
I agree that it's going to be a really big shift in terms of like ladder losing all importance. I think like the path to pro thing, as they called it, was actually nice. That if you start getting good at the game, you hit legend, suddenly your legend number starts getting a little bit smaller, and you're trying to work out like, well, okay, am I good at this game? Like, what's my next step? Well, your next step is just to keep playing ladder and finish top 100, and then like you actually have a path into the scene. Whereas now your game client, because of the lack of tournament mode in the game client, your game client does not interact with the championship tour anymore, right? You have to go outside of your game client to actually get involved in that, which is a big difference. I also think like we were talking like before we came on air about like what will streamers do for content now, which is an interesting discussion because streaming endless ladder existed before HCT points were a thing. People still tried to get top 100 before HCT points were a thing, but it's a very different mentality now where that it used to mean something and now that's been taken away. So now there's like a mental negativity towards playing ladder because it did mean something and now it's been devalued. So you're playing something that's been devalued. So if I were them, I would do something for ladder, like something as small as like limited edition, like swag, like collectibles or apparel. That like the only way you could get it was by finishing top 1, top 10, top 25, top 100 for that month. And there's exclusive stuff for each month throughout
Yeah,
the
like the
anything small like that, like an incentive for people to compete for, just to have something cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, why not have events that actually are based on how people do on the ladder? You know, like, it doesn't have to be HCT, right? It could just be, these are the top hundreds or whatever. Yeah.
The absolute bare minimum, right? Like, you know, get the merch store to pump some stuff out, like even just a fucking exclusive pin or something.
Yeah,
Or
like
top 100, a top 100
League
t-shirt,
of Legends.
Dude, you know, like...
if you finish Challenger, they gave you like a jacket.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I have this Challenger jacket. What's up? At least there's like something.
Yeah.
Give me anything. I think what I'm gonna try to do personally is, man, I'm gonna reach out to like every pro and I'm gonna say, hey, let's get a pro league thing together. Let's stream that. Let's have fun playing like games that matter against each other. We'll all throw in $10 to a prize pool. Winner takes it. Like, that'll be fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Money
but people weren't interested in that.
Money matches, but you just don't talk about the gambling on Twitch.
Yeah. So I think some people have been pointing out that, you know, they think that Blizzard's kind of taken a backwards approach to this. Like, they decided to, instead of like changing how the ladder work, you know, like at least adding tournament system to the client and making the events, just what we do at events, match what actually happens on the client. We decided just to take away, you know, like do it backwards. Right. And, you know, I agree. Like, I don't think this is necessarily the right way to do it. Like, you know, it would have been nice if tournament mode was there, you know, and we could actually have that feed into these things. Because now online qualifiers are, you know, it's like kind of having tournament mode, but you have to go through a third party still, you know. So, you know, I have mixed feelings on all of this stuff, but definitely worse for the community in the fact that ladder is just not going to be anything. Like, who's even going to play ladder anymore? Like, are all the top players still going to be laddering? Like, I don't even know what they're going to do.
I mean, it's still the most readily available way to test decks for anything that you're doing. It's not the most efficient way. Like, you know, you should have a practice group, someone that you're labbing and you're playing the same matchup 20 times in a row to figure it out or whatever. Like, that's more efficient, but you can't do that all the time. Again, especially if you're like a mid-tier pro, like a semi-pro, working a full-time job and just playing Hearthstone, like when you can. You don't necessarily have a full-time practice group. So you still have to use ladder just to jam your stuff at high legend and see if it works. Right. So like ladder will still be populated. It's just like, what will the community attitude be towards the streams? What will be the streamers' attitudes to what content they produce? Will grinding ladder like captivate them anymore? Will it captivate the audience anymore? I think we should also note, because I think all three of us are like somewhat negative about a complete lack of ladder. Like, Ike, very negative. I'm like pretty negative about it, but like, there are a lot of people who are extremely happy that open cups are coming back and that ladder doesn't matter anymore. Because I mean, this amazed me when we got halfway through 2018 and people were saying, God, I hate ladder. Can we bring open cups back? Whereas like all I'd heard in 2017 was that open cups were cancer and that they needed to go away. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that those are different people. Like, it wasn't the same guy. But it just goes to show that mantra of like, you can't please everyone, right? Like, some group of people are going to be upset with like whatever your group is. Yeah, like Sintelo, exactly.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, of course there are going to be some, but you know, I think Ike pointed out that, you know, a good number of people have full-time jobs and we're qualifying that way, and I think that will hurt the population of players by a lot. Which, you know,
I mean,
that's
we will wait and see what the schedule is, like how many of these open cups there are and like when they're scheduled for each region. But I think Ike is right in that it doesn't really matter. Like, if you work a full-time job and you have to sleep and maintain a healthy lifestyle, which Blizzard should be allowing everyone to do, right? Like, they shouldn't be expecting people to stay up all night and then go to work the next day if they want to enter an open cup. It seems impossible to enter an open cup. Like, only on weekends, I guess, would be your opportunity. Like,
which is very limited, right? Like, that's a lot, and you would be, you know, not be able to do anything else on the weekends except for that.
I really love open cups.
How long are open cups? Like, how long are they normally?
It all depends how well you do.
Yeah,
but I
imagine
let's just say
you win
longer than they previous were, because everyone's going to be doing them, right?
Yeah. When I mean, like when I was playing when I was playing qualifiers for things, like a 14-hour day was not uncommon of just
Oh
like
my god.
playing one
In the last
qualifier.
6 hours, you're dead inside.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's really bad. If it's 14 hours, holy crap.
I
mean-
expect it won't be that because I'd like logically I would expect like streamlining of the format as well if there's
I'd
going to
hope
be
so.
that
Probably
many
best of
open cups going on. Like
time limits and things like that, right?
Yeah,
Like
who knows?
I would hope so.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the kind of live tournaments. You know, there's going to be less tournaments, just period. And is this better or worse for just just professional Hearthstone scene in the community? You know, in terms of maybe hopefully we have these tournaments are just more hype because there's just not as many of them. You know, and because this
Yes.
year we had all these tournament stops, which
100%.
you know, we barely got viewership on any of these events. Like, if I'm going to be completely honest.
It's crazy because like viewer minutes, Hearthstone crushed it this year because there was a tournament every week with like 10 to 12k viewers.
Mm-hmm.
But the perception of that is like, oh, dead game. We used to get like 60, 80k for a tournament, and now we're getting 10k.
Right.
So yeah, we're getting 10k every week or twice a week in some cases. Like that's still really good viewership. But yes, it did not make any individual tournament feel special anymore, and that was a problem, 100%.
Yeah, and
I have really mixed feelings on this. I think that the having bigger, higher paying tournaments is awesome. Like I really want to think that if I won this tournament, that's a huge deal, right? Like everyone's gonna know this guy won the tournament. You know, he's walking home with a decent amount of prize pool.
Yep.
Like, and you have to qualify, or the qualify invited thing is kind of like it's good. They had to give something to the people who worked really hard for their points. Like they deserve to be at these tournaments, but it sucks if you don't have the 150 points in the 1 year that it was around.
Yeah. I think actually before you like move on with that, I think that's something that I do want to throw in here real quick is that like it's regardless of what we think of this system, like I hope it works and they now stick with it for 2, 3, 5 years because we've now had 3 completely different formats in 3 years, and that's a big problem because there's no consistency. No one knows what they're doing from 1 year to the next, and that's just.
I mean, I love the tiered system. I mean, I do love the tiered system. You know, like I think that one element that I was pushing for or just always talking about like last year or two is just that we needed this designation of who the pro players are, and where they are. And I think we're starting to see that now. I think we're starting to get to the point where we if some sponsor comes around and talking to teams and stuff, it's like, what is Pro Hearthstone? You can actually point to like, okay, this is these group of people that have qualified, and it's not just like every single Hearthstone player in the world. So
at Lorinda Games on Twitter, check him out. He'll tell you. There you go. There's all the stats.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think that's definitely good.
Speaking of teams, it's a real mixed bag for teams as well because I know like a lot of team owners are upset that who was it? Insom like tweeted his email that he got. It was like, we're discontinuing this and this.
It's like, thank you for your service.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. So like, the like direct team support might be being scaled back or whatever, but as a team owner, it's actually a lot more attractive to have a Hearthstone player in this system in a lot of ways because you don't have to fund them to travel to a tour stop.
Yeah.
They just get to sit at home, potentially stream, and then, you're not paying anything for them to enter their online qualifier. Yeah. And then when they do have to travel to something, I don't know what the travel arrangements will be, like whether Blizzard is covering it or whether the team would have to. But like either way, they're then traveling to an event with like a much higher EV than like going to a tour stop where like first prize was like 4K or something, right? Like it's a much more attractive system for like a team to invest in a player over a long time to build up because it's A, cheaper for them, and it's B, much more exposure. Like Ike was saying, like if some guy just wins 100 grand in a tournament, that's just a way bigger deal. It can like potentially make stars in the scene.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I still think that there's some team element that's coming up that we haven't heard yet, but we'll have to wait.
I hope so.
That. I mean, a lot of teams invested that they have to invest for a reason, so we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening there. But yeah, so less events. Hopefully they'll be hyped up more. I think they'll be, I think it'll be easier to market them and kind of like try to get them, again, more viewers. I'd like to see Hearthstone events start getting more viewership again. See if we can get up to 100K again. That'd be awesome.
I remember like Bahamas HCT, the
Yeah,
first one.
dude.
Like we beat League in viewership.
Right.
Like it was nuts. We had like 140,000 viewers or something.
But you
and
know,
like,
but you know why though? Like it's because we had everybody from the community there.
yeah,
You know, like
and
Toast
because
is
it was in the
there and everything.
freaking Bahamas.
Well, that
Yeah.
too.
Like,
But it's just like,
you know, like,
I mean,
it was such a big deal. It was such like a next level thing for
Right.
a Hearthstone tournament to have done. It was crazy.
yeah, I think a lot of people will still say that was the most fun they've had at an ACT tournament. So that's definitely. But
Hey,
what I'm
we-
trying to say is just the entire community was there too, and I think that's
Yeah.
one thing that we've been missing. You know, from ACT, it's been just it's a separate, and I feel like it's like a separate community within the community is the professional scene, and I think we need to kind of try to meld that back again. You know, try to get the Crips there and the Toasts there and all those guys. So.
Right.
Okay, and the last thing, format. I mean, there's not much we can talk about. It's just not Conquest. Lots of speculations as to what it is. You know, we can't really, we won't know for sure until they announce it. But you know, what do you guys think of it just it not being Conquest? How about that?
I want
Great.
to say the exact opposite of what I said earlier. We've had Conquest for too long at this point. That's been the one thing that was consistent throughout the whole thing, and it's just kind of played out, right? Like,
Yeah.
as a caster, like, there's only so many ways you can say it doesn't matter what deck they queue in
That's a
breaks
lie.
between games, right?
Deck Q order better than Conquest, man.
Ike, please, come on.
We won't have to debate, but I'm right.
Q order? Oh my, okay. Okay.
Go cast with Rob Wing. You'll be as perfect.
Oh my god.
Rob Wing and I are bros.
I'm sure you guys are. No, we love Rob for sure.
I do love Rob.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, Rob's great. Shout out to Rob.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe he'll come back to Hearthstone. Okay, well, you know, again, ACTs, there's going to be more details coming up. I don't know, maybe by the end of this month. Maybe there's more coming this month, but I would think at least by January.
I think the next 3 months are still being counted for points.
Yeah.
They're not official towards anything, but you're still earning points to get to the 120, 150, 200 mark.
Yep.
So I feel like that's kind of like buying them time, right, to think of how to and what to announce. So I don't think we're going to see anything more soon. Like, I think probably end of January is what we're looking at.
Wow, okay.
Maybe February. Like, I think it's going to be a while for things to get.
Yeah.
Because people are still going to try for points, right?
Mhm.
And they're still going to ladder, and it's going to mean something still, right? So there's like a transitional period, I guess, which is something I didn't really talk about, which is smart and good, I think, for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it's less relevant than it was, but it's not as relevant or like it's going to be less relevant.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah, this
I think-
transition. Go ahead.
Going back to like the original question you asked is like, why did they announce anything if they were going to announce so little? Like, I think they were obligated to, with the fact like the next 3 months were coming up and no one knew what they meant.
Yeah.
I think there was probably like a date where legally they had to say something, right? Just to make sure that people knew what they were doing with these next 3 months.
Right. Yeah, I think the transition this time around will be better than last year. I think last year's transition was a bit more rough for people, not realizing that, it's points are still going on, you know, just kind of weirdness that way, especially when the World Championship was going on at the same time, and it's just it's definitely kind of weird. But anyways, you know, change is good. I mean, I think they're still generally making changes for the better, you know, and you know, we're just going to give our feedback. That's just what we do. we want the best.
100% know more than me on this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
they're probably
There's just so much potential as well for like Hearthstone esports in general. Like the World Championships, this year, but the year that just passed, Amsterdam, like that really hammered the point home to me because we did a separate World Championship, like one of the first Blizzard esports events that wasn't at BlizzCon for its finals, a completely separate event. And we filled out a venue for people that just came, knew about Hearthstone, were happy to watch Hearthstone. Like, it was an incredible event, and everyone there was like there purely for Hearthstone. And you kind of contrast that to like HGG at BlizzCon, where we were like tucked away in a basement somewhere and like no one was watching.
We need to fix that, by the way. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you know, Blizzard Hearthstone team needs to do something better at BlizzCon because it's just taken such a couple steps backwards, you know, in terms of what happens at BlizzCon. And it just feels so bad. You know, when you go to BlizzCon in Hearthstone, there's just not much to really watch there.
So the problem is like that the room that we're in is actually really, really full. But like I'm sure anyone that watched it saw like the shot they had about, because we've got this really awkward shot as it ended up being where like the caster desk is here and then behind us there's just rows of empty seats because it's framed with the crowd behind us. That whole room is actually full of like thousands of people, but they're all queuing to play the stations or sat at the PCs to play the demo of the expansion. That's where everyone was. No one like came to sit and watch like the Hearthstone in the crowd.
Right.
So there was people there who were interested in Hearthstone. It's just, you know, playing the game and being invested in doing fun things like took precedent over them just sitting and watching some esports.
Yeah.
So it looked really bad for Hearthstone, but like I could turn my head that way, like just off camera, and there were literally thousands of people there that you couldn't see.
Yeah.
So it was just like a really unfortunate camera angle for that. Like,
no question that, I mean, Hearthstone has its own section. I mean, it's like this giant, you know, area room annex or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, like people are missing it because of that. And it mostly has to do with just like, if there was something incredibly important to watch there, I think a lot more people would go there, you know? So I think because of where it's located, they need to do even more stuff, you know, and HGG wasn't enough. Like it just hasn't worked out at HGG, you know, as much as like World Cup Overwatch has worked out, you know. So
dude, the cheer thing like went super hard.
Yeah, the cheer thing worked really well. That's true.
That's true.
Right.
So it showed that like people were invested in it, but again, it's a different thing than like watching something on Twitch and just engaging with a stream on Twitch as you engage with the stream on Twitch and you're used to, and actually like coming out to a live event and like USA.
Yeah, I know, that's true.
It's a very different thing. You know?
No, true. Streamer Showdown BlizzCon was up. Yeah, Streamer Showdown was, but Streamer Showdown was on the community, the Epic stage or whatever. So
you were in the big boy room?
Yeah, we were in the big boy room. Oh my god, we had there were a ton of people watching Streamer Showdown. That was probably the biggest crowd we've had ever live watching it. So I mean, imagine that was downstairs. Like that would have been pretty awesome. You know, like all those people are Hearthstone people. So it would have been even more epic down there. So just little things like that. We just need to improve for BlizzCon. But the World Championships, clearly, I think it's been great being separate.
Agreed.
Okay, real quick, you know, we don't have too much time left. Just any questions? Maybe one question from chat if you guys have anything. But I wanted to ask maybe talk a little bit about, just kind of get y'all's opinion on the whole Taiwan All-Star event. And I know a lot of people have been asking me throughout the week to talk about on Value Town, so I figured I'd bring it up. But those of you who don't know, there's this All-Star event in Taiwan where it's like 8 All-Stars from Taiwan versus basically 8 All-Stars from non-Taiwan, right? So all kinds of people. Muzzy's there, Frozen's there, like a lot of different people. And there was a bit of drama that happened because two of the Taiwan folks were two of the folks that you know, got caught cheating, right? Like during HGG or whatever. And so a lot of people have been very, very upset as to like having those people be part of that event. It's a pretty big money event, and it's an all-star event too. It's supposed to be this really cool event that brings, you know, top players together. So, you know, I think the meaning of the event has a lot to do with why people are feeling the way they feel. So want to get your thoughts on it. Like, what do you guys think? I mean, do you think it's, you know, it's really up to the event organizer to do whatever they want? If they think, you know, they're going to get a better reputation for it, then fine. But, or do you think that, you know, there should be maybe I don't know, just more care taken in terms of who they invite and that sort of thing?
Both of those things.
Okay.
Like, yes, it's entirely up to any event organizer if they want to bring someone. But yes, I would also hope that, you know, they pay attention to things like that. And, you know, Blizzard don't have the power to just ban someone from playing any form of competitive Hearthstone. But I mean, I guess, I don't know. There's license. They have to give the license to.
Yeah, but I don't think I think it would be pretty weird if they came in and said, you can't have that player play. Yeah, that would be pretty weird too.
But you know, I would like if tournament organizers would kind of respect that and just have the integrity to say, well, you know, these guys have been caught cheating, so that's kind of it. You know, they just hold their 1 year ban or whatever it is that they end up with, and they move on. You know, like, it's happened with players before, and they've come back reformed and done great things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yep.
A year ban is not the end of your Hearthstone career. We've seen that with multiple players. So.
Mm-hmm. Ike, your take?
I think whoever organizes it, like they could do what they want. I mean,
Yeah.
do I think it's right? Not really.
Yeah.
Does I mean they're like good players.
I'm sure
They're
they're
gonna
good
play well.
players.
Could be
It's
good
just,
games.
you know,
Like I think it's fine. I don't
Mhm.
really. There's a lot of drama, but
yeah.
not really. And like, okay, it happened. Let's move on, please.
Right. Okay, so we got a question here from Haslock. He's got, which new deck has the biggest potential to be strong even in 2 or 3 months? Day one take. What's the strongest deck you thinking? Bold predictions. Bold prediction.
New deck. It says new deck.
New deck.
Well, there are now the 2-mana eggs and
Okay. For me, I don't know. I think that Shaman might be decent actually, as like the go-to aggro deck. I think it might have a chance, like the one that you were building, Sottle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that an actual answer to the question is probably some sort of pirate rogue. I don't know, even not Kingsbane, whatever. But I think that'll be around for more than just like a week.
Okay.
Yep. I would agree with that. I think some kind of pirate rogue will be real for sure. And I think potentially like actual Kingsbane as well might have more of a place in the metagame than it has done previously. It's just like, you know, kind of a counter Q snipe deck or target deck in Conquest. I think
it's a good tournament.
Really?
Real thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kingsbane
I need
is
to play it
always
some more.
a
I need to play it some then. Yeah, because I still like don't quite feel the power of it, like just looking at it. But you know, you guys talking about obviously all these awesome plays. So I think I'm gonna have to try that out. Okay, so Rogue's still gonna be sticking around. that's
I love
gonna be
Rogue,
good.
man.
Yeah.
I think more hunters than Death Rattle Hunter will be very viable as well. You know, whether that. I mean, the Death Rattles will probably be the best, yeah. But like a Spell Hunter will probably be a higher tier than Spell Hunter is now, and like a Minion Hunter will probably be higher tier than a Minion Hunter is now.
Yeah. So much of a shakeup, you guys think? I mean, like, you know, this is the last expansion, hardest one to shake things up, but I think a lot of people were hopeful that this would, you know, shake some stuff up, and instead of the, you know, the you know, pretty dull, not really dull, but the impact at the last, you know, obviously Boomsday barely even had an impact. And I think Witchwood's impact was even just like a little bit, you know, it wasn't drastic either. I mean, you think this will, out of the 3, will have the most impact though, and or do you think we're in for the same type of thing? Add about maybe 2 or 3 cards to the deck, and it's the same exact archetype.
Well,
go on, you go.
I think since like adding 2 or 3 cards to a really already good deck is kind of a big deal. Like,
but it's the same deck.
That's a thing,
though.
and
you know, it's like.
But having new cards in it is something that means the expansion is really relevant. So I think that's really good, and I think also there are probably decks that are going to come out of somewhere that are going to be new and viable, and I'm hopeful that it'll be a good set that won't just stay the same. Malagos, even lock Death Rattle Hunter.
Yeah.
I pretty much agree with that sentiment. Like, I want to echo the first thing exactly, which is like, without a rotation, if you add 3 or 4 cards to the top tier decks, that's a huge change. Like your expansion has landed hard if you've managed to make that many changes. But I'm also hopeful that like we might just get some more viable aggro decks, which I think the game sorely needs. There aren't that many right now. Like, a lot of them just get frozen out by druids. Whereas, you know, I think like Shaman has shown promise. The rogues just seem good right now. And despite, you know, me saying that like the ball control, like aggro warrior seemed kind of trashy, like I can see the shell of like a warrior deck that tops out at Soltharaz and just uses that as a finisher as well. Like, I can see that being a thing potentially, as Ike shakes his head in the like I saw that. Just the smallest.
I was a little offended.
Okay. But yeah, I think there's potential for just, you know, playing some minions and hitting people, which is something that we haven't really seen in Hearthstone for quite some time. So that makes me happy.
Okay, well, we're definitely excited to see where it takes. And then, you know, this is going to lead into the reset, which I think that Hearthstone is going to be a completely different game once the reset hits. It's going to be, it's going to be great times. I think once we get to April or whatever. But in the meantime, I think this is going to stem us over pretty well. And yeah, so anyways, we're going to wrap up the show. That's thanks guys for being on the show today. It's definitely a lot of fun. Always fun with getting a chance to talk decks with you guys. And Ike, you want to do any shout outs before you take off?
Yeah, I'm good.
No.
Ike. Just type Ike somewhere. I'll be there.
Ike somewhere. Wow. Okay, cool. I mean, his Twitter's there, so if you need to find him, it's right there. Sottle, how about you?
Yeah, same thing. Just type my name in basically anywhere. It's a random collection of letters, so no one has it except for Facebook, where there's some guy called Sylvian Ottle who has facebook.com/Sottle, and that really sounds good.
Wow.
Everywhere else you can find me there. Twitter obviously is on the screen. I don't really stream anymore, but if you go to Ravenstream/RavenHS, I will be hanging around there a lot, most likely, playing various games. So
we're gonna do Fortnite.
We're gonna do Fortnite.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna play some Fortnite.
Oh man, the Fortnite streamers. Fortnite streams with the Hearthstone crowd. HS. Just a bunch of hiding and tucking away and camping and shit. Pretty much. Well, for me, just a big shout out to you guys for doing the show and for just everybody who support the show and follow the show. Definitely the YouTube VODs will be up very, very soon. YouTube.com/ChanmanV. And you can follow the Twitter channel, ValueTown@GG, as well as all the audio things. You can find them on iTunes, Google Play, as well as SoundCloud and Spotify. So just look at ValueTown, you'll find us. But that's going to be it, guys, for this week. So for Ike, Sottle, myself, ChanmanV, we'll see you next week.